So you're a graphic designer in South Africa. You're full of passion, and you're ready to turn that creative spark into a real deal successful business. Well, you've come to the right place. We're about to break down exactly what you need to do to make it happen. Let's get right into it. First things first, what's the one thing that separates a good designer from a successful one? What's that secret weapon in your back pocket? It's actually not just about being the most talented person in the room. There's a key advantage that really changes the game. And here it is. It's your unique creative perspective. Seriously, in a world that can feel pretty generic sometimes, your ability to think differently, to see things in a new way, that's your most valuable asset. It is the one thing nobody else has, and it's the bedrock of a thriving creative business. Okay, so we've established that your creativity is your superpower. Now let's talk about the playground you'll be using it in. We're diving into the South African design scene to see what the opportunities and the earnings really look like. And I've got some great news for you. The design industry here in South Africa is absolutely buzzing. There is a huge demand for skilled, talented designers. So if you've got the skills, believe me, the work is out there. It is a fantastic time to be in this field. Right, but let's get to the question on everyone's mind. The moolah, the money. What can you actually expect to make as a graphic designer in South Africa? Because, passion is great, but you've got to pay the bills. If you're just kicking off your career, fresh in the industry, you can expect a starting salary somewhere in the ballpark of 15,000 to 19,000 Rand a month. It's a solid starting point for sure, but trust me, the potential for growth from here is huge. And here's where things get really interesting. Once you've got a few years under your belt, you're looking at a massive jump. Mid-level designers are often pulling in between 450,000 and 600,000 Rand a year. That just goes to show you how much experience is valued in this industry. Now, you might be looking at this number for senior designers and thinking, wait, that's lower? And you'd be right. The source material we're using had this range, which honestly seems like a typo. In the real world, an experienced senior designer is going to earn well over 600,000 Rand a year, often way more, depending on their skills. So this is a great reminder to always do your own research and know what you're worth as you climb that ladder. But here's the thing. Pulling in that top-tier salary isn't just about being a whiz with design software. To really succeed, you've got to start thinking like a business owner. This next part is all about turning that raw talent into real profit. Especially for all you freelancers out there, it really boils down to 5 key things. First, you have to network like crazy. Your next big client could be anyone, anywhere. Second, know your value and don't be afraid to charge for it. Third, find that sweet spot between work and your own creative projects to avoid burnout. Fourth, always be learning. This industry changes fast. And finally, and this is a big one, always get a down payment. Let's just focus on that last point for a second, because it is that important. Make this your mantra. No down payment, no job. It protects you, it shows the client you're a serious professional, and it filters out the people who aren't really committed. It's non-negotiable. So, when you get right down to it, real success in this business is a mix of 2 things: that amazing creative brain of yours and some good old-fashioned business sense. When you get those 2 halves working together, you are going to be unstoppable. All right, so you've got the business mindset locked in. Now let's talk about the practical side of things. What skills and tools do you actually need in your creative toolkit to crush it in today's market? Look, being great at Photoshop is a given. That's the entry fee. What really makes you stand out are the soft skills. We're talking about being a great communicator, a team player, and a big one these days is evidence-based design. That just means using real data and user feedback to back up your creative choices, not just going with a gut feeling. So how do you juggle your amazing creative ideas with what a client actually needs? It really comes down to mastering this balancing act. On one hand, you have to be obsessed with the user, who they are, what they need. But on the other hand, you have to be a realist, working within the constraints of budgets, tech, and deadlines. The true magic happens when you find those brilliant, creative solutions that live right in the middle. And when you finally nail that combo of business smarts and killer design skills, you're doing more than just building a career for yourself. You're actually stepping into a much bigger role. You become part of the story of South African design. And what an amazing story it is. South African design is known all over the world for its energy, its boldness, and its deep cultural roots. Every logo you design, every website you build, It all adds another thread to this beautiful, vibrant tapestry that draws on our country's incredible heritage. We have such a proud history of incredible creatives in South Africa. And by learning from them, by building on what they started, you're not just setting yourself up for success, you're putting yourself in a position to be one of the leaders who shapes where we go next. And that's really what I want to leave you with. This isn't just about getting a job. It's about making your mark. You have this unique talent, and now you have a roadmap for the business side of things. You've got the power to add something truly special to our creative landscape. So the only question left is, how are you going to influence the future of South African design?